Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, council, to our special council meeting for Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. And again, welcome council, welcome staff, and welcome those that are viewing us from the public. Today's meeting is Zoom only for a council meeting or a special council meeting. So there was a published agenda on our website, and which we'll be following off today. So looking at who's all here, because we haven't had a full complete Zoom council meeting for a little while, but we have, I think everybody is in attendance except the deputy mayor, and I was just speaking to him 15 minutes ago, and he's unable to attend today's council meeting. And also we have Clerk Vanelstein is our clerk, and we have Coordinator Thompson looking after ourselves, and we have Director Level, and we also have Director Moyer, who is going to be our interim CAO for today's meeting, as our CEO is away right now, and yep, I see the treasurer. So we do have staff support here as well. So again, we do have a published agenda that was on our website, and so going down to that, I don't see a spot on there if there's any peculiar interest, but I guess I should ask, is there any peculiar interest with council members? Okay, thank you. So there's two items. There's section 2.1. There's a cross-border servicing agreement with West Gray, and I will read off is there any general questions? I'll read off the motion, and maybe somebody wishes to move in second, and then we can have discussions on that. Does anybody have any general question before I read off the motion? Okay. The council received staff report CAO 2504, cross-boundary servicing agreement for information, and that council approve the bylaw 2025-024 being a bylaw to authorize a cross-boundary service agreement with the municipality of Grey Highlands. And would somebody care to put that on the floor?
I'll move that.
Okay, moved by Councillor Allwood. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Dubik. Okay, and so just because I'm on my iPad, I'm going to be sort of going off my phone for the two links. But the first link is sort of the report that sort of, well, there's an agreement there how the lands on West Gray were moved from agricultural lands to, I forget the zoning, but to allow the expansion of Chapman's on that. So that sort of explains there. Is there any questions, comments from council members on that portion? So there's the cross-boundary service agreement with West Gray, and then there's a draft Chapman servicing agreement. That's what we're looking at right now. Any questions, comments on that? And the links, if you click on the links, they do pop up. And I know I had one comment, but I will go to Councillor Allen. Just please take your mic off there so we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you. On the bottom of page 4, and this is the Chapman's draft bylaw, section 4C. Says it's a condition precedent to the obligations of Grey Highlands hereunder that the owner of the Chapman's expansion lands shall have entered into an agreement with Grey Highlands. So this isn't the agreement. This is a bylaw saying that we're going to service the lands. So when does that agreement, it says shall have entered, meaning to me that they will have already entered into an agreement. Do we have that agreement?
Sorry, can you just say that the section and the part again there? Just please repeat that.
So bottom of page 4, the one line. So 4C. It is a condition precedent to the obligations of Grey Highlands hereunder that the owner of the Chapman's expansion lands shall have entered into an agreement with Grey Highlands, addressing and or including among other things that goes on. So it's sounding like before we pass this bylaw, that they will have already entered into an agreement. I'm
So,
probably wrong, but I'm just asking, do we have an agreement?
so I will go to Director Moyer. Director Moyer, are you able to answer that question?
Uh, Through you, Mayor McQueen. So we don't have the actual agreement completed at this time, but what we have done for the servicing side of things is that letter of intent with Chapman's and West Gray, and that has been signed. And moving forward, they have given a date when they will have the agreements in place. So it's that full agreement isn't completed yet, but they have entered and signed the letter of intent saying that they will enter into the agreement moving forward. So that is where we're at with that side of things.
So, Councilor Allen, do you have a follow-up?
So what happens if we can't get an agreement for whatever reason, whether it's something on our side or Chapman's side, but we've already allowed them to go ahead or carry on with the build?
Director Moyer?
So moving forward, if that agreement isn't reached by the date that's in there, then that we go back to like the building and occupancy, and they can't gain that until they have an actual agreement for servicing. So that at that point, we wouldn't be able to give them any occupancy to have anything happen and to enter into the use of that building.
That would be through the CBO.
Correct.
Okay.
So this agreement allows them to get a conditional permit that allows them to move forward until we get all the other agreements in place. But you're saying, Sean, is if they didn't enter into a permanent agreement, the occupancy would not be allowed.
So through you, Mayor. So this agreement just is a high level agreement to say that West Gray and Gray Highlands are going to work to service that portion of Chapman's, and the other agreements will come as we move through the process. But yes, this is to try and get a conditional, or actually this is in being here now so that West Gray can lift the holding provision on that property in order to then move towards getting a.
Basically, we agree that we'll move forward with the servicing agreement. But they will not get occupancy, they won't get their occupancy permit to allow them to use the building if we don't have an agreement in place. Does that answer your question, Councilor Allen?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Other questions, comments? So the one popped up, just popped up. I just thought it was interesting. It's where is it here? 2D, and it just says, in furtherance to the consent given, Gray Highlands shall have the exclusive right to provide the municipal service to and within the Chapman's expansion lands. Such exclusive consent shall include the authority to delegate or subcontract the performance of certain or all the services as it will see fit. Gray Highlands shall provide written notice to the municipality of if any such delegation or subcontract. So, Sean, is that just sort of, sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. So basically, we're the owners of the system. We will determine what that is needed. I guess where I was sort of coming from, it says that Gray Highlands shall have the exclusive right to provide municipal services. So they can't go out and get services from somewhere else. Once we enter into this agreement, they're committed to our system.
Yes, through you to you, Mayor. That is right. So it's just to ensure that if the easement, so in order to put those services in, they'll have to be within a municipal easement. And once it's in there, the easement will be in the municipality of Gray Highlands name so that we have control over the pipes if there are pipes or our infrastructure that, and it's that just to say that it is ours. Yes.
Right. And it can't connect to some other system or however.
Well,
right?
further on, if they want to do that, there's a process. So
Yeah.
then the West Gray has to, yeah.
And the only one other thing that popped up was E. I see Councillor Wickens has a question, so I'll just finish with E and then I'll go to you, Councillor Wickens. This agreement shall not create or deemed to create any intention by West Grey or Grey Highlands to any future boundary adjustment. And I don't want to dwell on that, but I just thought that was interesting that's put in there because I'm not sure who else could do the adjustment other than West Grey or Grey Highlands. But I don't even know why that's in there, and maybe there's a good reason why that's in there, and maybe Sean, you can't answer it, and if I don't get an answer, that's okay. I just thought it was sort of interesting that is in there. Again, this agreement shall not create or deem to create any intention by West Grey or Grey Highlands to any future boundary adjustment. So it just seemed interesting that's in there because sometimes boundary adjustments, and that's not something we're talking about today, but it just seems funny that it's in there. That's all.
Through you, Mayor, so our lawyer has made this document. That's just one of the statements that he had added. I don't have any context.
No, I would, maybe it's something I can follow up later or at another time. Yeah. Anyway, Councillor Wickens, you have a question?
Well, it's been answered, so no, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay, I wasn't on your chat. So what was your question? Just so people know if
Well, it's just about payments for any past monies owing or building permits or stuff like that. But this is just an agreement between us and West Grey, so
yeah.
That's to come. Yep.
Yeah. We agreed that we're going to agree to work forward toward those other agreements for sure.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions, queries? And again, this is all on the website for the public to see if they wish. So this is the motion has been moved by Councillor Allwood, second by Councillor Dubik. No further questions on that. All in favor? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. So then the next one is the confirming bylaw of our decision that we made. Thanks, Director Moyer, with regards to today's decision. And I'll read it off. That bylaw 2025-025 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council on I guess it's March or April 3rd, 2025 be read first, second, and third time and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign and seal the same notwithstanding any contrary provisions of council. Would somebody care to move and second that motion? Councillor Rowehead and Councillor Wickens. Any further discussion on that motion? If not, all in favor of that motion? That is carried. Well, we're approaching 3:17 and we started late. I need one more motion to adjourn. This might be the shortest council meeting that we've ever had. Moved by Councillor Dubik, second by Councillor Allwood, that we adjourn 3:17. Any comments? All in favor? That's carried unanimous. Have a good day, everyone. And